Good morning, I'm Kristen Folletti and welcome to News Desk on SiliconANGLE TV for Wednesday, June 5th, 2013. Alternative cell carrier Freedom Pop is planning to introduce a new free price tier. Join us now to help us dissect this new freemium plan is News Desk head writer and SiliconANGLE correspondent Winston Edmondson. Good morning, Winston.
Good morning.
This summer, Freedom Pop will offer a plan with various Android phones that gives customers 200 free voice minutes, along with unlimited texting and 500 megabytes of data service. So, Winston, how can Freedom Pop afford to do this?
Well, they're using it as a loss leader, and it's pretty exciting, pretty innovating. You can see companies like Amazon that do things like this by selling their Kindle Fire devices for where they're losing money on each device, but they're hoping to make up that money in other areas. So Freedom Pop is taking that revenue model and applying it to the mobile industry. Pretty exciting.
Now, for those unfamiliar with the carrier, Freedom Pop already offers its customers 500 megabytes of free data on various services. So how has that plan of free data worked for the company thus far?
Well, they say it's worked well. In fact, this offer that includes the free minutes as well was what they intended to do all along. They weren't ready when it was time to roll out, so they went ahead and went with just the data. But this was their original plan, and so up to this point, they've been happy with the results, and now offering kind of a completely free price plan that includes the minutes and the texting and the data. They're now where they wanted to be initially, and they're moving forward with it.
So explain to us how the new free tier of service is going to work.
So basically, you can get a phone. They have several phones available, Android phones that they're not, the current flagship models, but for example, the Samsung Galaxy S2, which was the #1 phone really not that long ago, last year, they'll offer that, no contract, for about $200. Once you have that phone, you can use up to 200 minutes of talk time, unlimited text, and 500 megabytes of data. It's completely free. So it's really a great option for kids, for folks that just don't use the phone very much. I anticipate a lot of people signing up to take advantage of it.
What other plans does Freedom Pop have for different device offerings?
Well, they have, you can upgrade it. So again, this is their loss leader, and they're hoping that as people come on board and find out that they actually need more than 200 minutes, they can upgrade. So for example, you can get unlimited talk time for only, I think, $10 a month. So that's available. They also have different phone models. They have the Evo 4G, which is, again, not that long ago, it was a very popular phone for $200. So basically, they'll be able to get you in without a contract, and you've got a pretty decent phone that works for free. Unclear on some of the additional upgrades that they might offer, any partnerships that might include perhaps apps that they can actually share in that profit and that revenue. But the goal, again, is to use the free plan as a loss leader and then make up that money with add-on services.
Now, Winston, when people hear the word free, they usually follow that up with, what's the catch? So are there any obvious downsides to this plan that we can see?
Not as of right now. You never know. Hopefully this won't be anything like a bait and switch, but from what we've seen and what is actually available, there's no real downside other than you only get 200 minutes, but those minutes are free, so it's hard to complain about that. It's pretty exciting because you see the convergence of a number of trends could add up to some pretty beneficial opportunities for consumers. You have the Facebook phone that had the Facebook Home offering. If you look at what Facebook is trying to do and what's available here, you might see some partnerships forming where perhaps Facebook and Freedom Pop could join forces to offer a phone for free, where you don't even have to pay to get the phone, and you've got free talk time, free texting, free data, and the value from the consumer is shifting from what they're actually spending and paying in their monthly fee to behind the scenes, what maybe they have access to some of the data of where they're going, and they can leverage that. So it's kind of exciting to see companies looking to leverage different aspects of value versus just how much money can the consumer spend on a monthly basis.
Now, we understand this offering is going to come sometime this summer. Do you have more specific information as to when interested customers are going to be able to access this new service offering?
There are no specifics, but yeah, right, this summer it should be available widely. So I would say if for folks that are interested, try to get on board and sign on to the waiting list.
Now, Winston, are there any other carriers out there who are implementing similar plans to this service right now?
You know, there are some other independent carriers that are out there with pretty cost-effective plans, usually in the $20 a month range. But this is the first free mobile offering, and it's reminiscent of what we saw kind of in the internet boom. If you remember, Net Zero was an internet service provider back in the day that had a free internet access. Of course, you had to have a browser that had ads being displayed, and in the long run didn't work out. But yeah, so this free model is new to mobile. It'll be interesting to see if it pans out and if other carriers get on board.
Now, we mentioned that Freedom Pop is an independent carrier. What kind of struggles do independent carriers like Freedom Pop face when they're trying to compete with those large traditional players like AT&T or Verizon Wireless?
Well, by law, they're able to use some of the same infrastructure, so it's really not an issue on offering that type, quality service. However, there is a perception problem. A lot of folks may not be aware that they're using the exact same, when you're using the phone, it's the same infrastructure that's carrying your call that it would be for a Sprint customer. So probably their biggest difficulty is overcoming that, the consumer opinion of third-party providers. But if you can get out there with something sensational like this, free phone service, that might be enough to get people to explore a little bit more and find out that there aren't as many difficulties as there had been in the past.
And I have received some more information about this free service offering. It sounds like either August or September it will be available, and customers who are interested can start to pre-order those plans now. But Winston, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Great to have you on.
Thank you.
And still to come here on SiliconANGLE TV, eBay takes window shopping to its literal form, and Google Glass announces an update. These plus more of today's top tech headlines are in your SiliconANGLE Daily Roundup. That's next on News Desk.